Okay, so we're getting ready to start chapter 3, and chapter 3 is going to center around the rational numbers. Now, the rational numbers is not something new and great. Basically, to make things simple for you, okay, rationals is our word we're going to use to replace fractions and decimals. Okay, at this stage of the game, we should probably already recognize that fractions and decimals are equivalent. They're interchangeable. We don't have to go through and talk about that aspect of it. But the vocab word rationals, you're going to hear that a lot in chapter 3 from your math teachers. And again, that's just a vocab word to replace the words fractions and decimal. Okay. Now, it's just to get chapter 3 started. The first thing we have to obviously be able to do is go back and forth between fractions and decimals. If we're not always given the form that we need, so we may need to do some conversions. All right. So, real quick, 1.32, if we want to get that into its fraction form, our whole number is going to stay the same. Whatever is after the decimal point is going to be our numerator. Okay, so the 32 is going to become our numerator. Now we need a denominator. Our denominator is based on place value. So the last possible place value we have here is the tenths, the hundredths place. So we will use 100 as our denominator. Okay, so we have 1 and 32 hundredths. As always with fractions, we want to make sure this is reduced to lowest terms. So we can go ahead and divide both of these by 4. That will give us an 8 over 25. Okay, again, you'll be asked to do some of that this evening. Should be a basic review for you. It's not anything that you haven't done in the past. The other technique then is if we're given a fraction. All right, so let's say, for example, we're given 7/9 and we want to come up with our decimal form for this. This isn't an obvious one to us. Okay, so again, we need to fall back on the fact that this not only means fraction bar, but it also means divide. So we really have a long division problem here. Top number divided by the bottom. So really we can do 7 divided by 9. So again, doesn't work. Add our decimal points. 9 goes into 70. 7 times, wow, 9 times 7 is 63. That will leave us with 7. Bring down another. 9 goes into 70 7 times. Okay, hopefully at this stage you can see 70 minus 63, 70 minus 63. We're starting to repeat our steps. So our decimal is 0.7 repeating. All right, so you'll be asked to do both of these tonight. This may be obvious. If it's not, then you need to do long division. It should wrap up within 2 or 3 steps. Okay, important thing over here, know your place values. All right, so how can we use this? Well, let's say we have this whole group of numbers here. We want to get these numbers in order from least to greatest. All right, which means we need to compare apples to apples. Okay, we need to make these all the same. And from past experience, most kids prefer, it's much easier to organize decimals over fractions. So we need to get these in their decimal forms. So 3 divided by 5. Okay, is to terminate at 0.6. Okay. Negative 4 divided by 5. And again, we don't have to get hung up on the negative signs here. Okay. We have 1 negative divided by a positive, so we know we're going to have a negative answer. So we get negative 0.8. And then 2 divided by 3. Three goes into 26 times. Again, 20 minus 18, 20 minus 18. Our process is repeating. Whoops. All right, so we want to go from least to greatest. So we look at our negatives here, negative 1.4, negative 0.8, negative 0.34. The smallest of these, negative 1.4. Next in line, negative 0.8 is smaller than our negative 0.34. Okay, so this one's accounted for. Alright, so now we have 0.6 and 0.6 repeating. Okay, and we're going in order here. So we want the smaller of the two. So this is 0.6. This one's 0.66 for as long as we would need it. Okay, what would be the next number? Remember, we are allowed to place zeros here. 0.60 is smaller than 0.66. Okay, so we would go ahead and put 0.6, and then 0.6 repeating would be our larger of the two. Okay, so there it is, I guess. I'm sorry, after we got it sorted out. All right, so that should be enough to get you through your homework tonight. Again, bring any questions back tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll get those taken care of. Have a good night.